Hey yo, this is Yulia and welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about driving in Canada. This video will be helpful for both people who already know how to drive and people who are just thinking about getting a driver's license. But before we proceed, two things here. First of all, the process will differ from province to province, from country to country. So make sure to check all the links that I leave in the description box down below, or just go to Google, type your province, and then how to get or how to exchange your driver's license. I'll be talking about Ontario and Quebec because that's where I got my driver's license. So without further ado, let's get started. If you just moved to Canada, you can drive with your driver's license from your home country for up to 6 months, depending on the province. For example, in Ontario, you can drive for 3 months, while in Quebec, it's all 6 months. So basically, you can take your card and just use it in Canada. But then, when you reach the deadline, you are obliged by law to change your license. So I would say don't wait till last minute and go exchange it right away, if you have it, of course. One thing to know though is that in some provinces, they will take your driver license for an exchange to another one. For example, when I moved from Russia to Ontario, Ontario said, "We don't want your driver's license, we don't care." But when I moved from Ontario to Quebec, Quebec was like, "Give me your driver's license because you cannot have two." Okay, now I moved from Quebec to Portugal, and Portugal was like Quebec. It was like, "Give me the license." So please bear that in mind. They for sure will give you a temporary one, but most likely it's gonna be a piece of paper, so be ready, please. So if you have a driver's license and you just moved to Canada, first of all, get your driver's record from your home country. You can either do it back at home, like before you move to Canada, you can go to the organization who does all that stuff and be like, "I need a driver's record," but also you will need a translation. Another option is what I did. I went to a consulate of the Russian Federation in Ottawa, and I was like, okay, here's my driver's license, here's the translation, I need an official stamp saying this, it's the same stuff, it's just a translation. I didn't get any driver's record because I don't think they even do that in Russia. Maybe now, yes, but 7 years ago, it was not such thing. So I went to the consulate, they put a stamp saying, this is correct. I took my papers to Service Ontario and they exchanged my license. Another thing to bear in mind that in different provinces, licenses are called different names. In Ontario, you have G1, which is a theory. Then you have G2, which is a road test. And then you have full G, which is also a road test, but with highways. In Quebec, you have learner's license, and then you have license. So based on that, the process of exchanging your driver's license might differ. So for me, I took all my papers to Service Ontario. I took an eye exam and my theory exam, and they gave me a card of G1, which is theory. There are always limitations on those, learners' licenses. But again, all the links, all the info gonna be down there. So please, go read the rules. The thing is, after your theory, you can pass your G2, but if you are exchanging licenses, you can skip the G2 and take the full G exam, which I did, and I failed. Yay, Miss Yulia is not perfect, she failed her driving exam. The thing is, new country, new rules, new everything. I would say find a tutor, like an instructor, who will prepare you for the exam. Because in Eastern Europe, where I come from, we have different signs, different signals, everything is different from Canada. So if you're debating whether you need an instructor, spend a few hours driving around, especially if the instructor knows the route, and you'll be good to go. A fun fact about taking your road tests, your road exams, you will need a car. Yes, in post-Soviet countries, you can come and then just, they'll give you a car. In Canada, you need to rent a car. You go to the rental. If you're under 25, you will need all the bunch of insurances. what you can do, you can either ask your friends, families, whoever basically, to rent a car for you or to lend their car to you for the period of the exam. Because if you still don't have your license and you're trying to rent a car, yeah, I was shocked too. If you don't have a driver's license but you planning to get one, so here are two things for you. First of all, you can study in your home country, get a license, and then come to Canada, exchange it. The thing is, if you have less than 2 years of experience, they're not gonna change it. So if you, let's say, planning to come to Canada this or next year, you might as well just wait and study in Canada. Yes, it will be more expensive. The thing is, you will learn everything you need to know, like in Canada, as I mentioned before, all the signs, all the stuff applicable to Canada. Because if you study, let's say, I don't know, in Greece, and then you move to Canada, and it's like different everything, you'll need to relearn everything again. A driving school normally lasts from 2 to 6 months, costs from $600 to $800. The thing is, different cities, different provinces have different prices, different length. So again, you can go to Google and check what's there on your local market. Another fun fact, you can go to school and take classes in your own language. Same with all the exams. But the thing is, I wouldn't do that. First of all, Canada's languages are English and French, so do that. But also, you'll be driving in Canada. What's the point of taking an exam in, I don't know, Russian language and then be like, what do you call that in English? Like, what does they mean? Yeah, like, no point of doing that. So why would you exchange your driver's license? First of all, look at this card, it's so tiny. In Canada, they ask you for ID everywhere. So instead of carrying your passport, just get one of those. It's so much easier. Second of all, Canada loves Canadian IDs. If you're planning to get a SIM card, if you go to a bank, they will always ask you for 2 pieces of ID. One is your passport, the second one is... Exactly. So get a driver's license, get a health card, but some provinces don't accept health card as an ID. So driver's license is perfect for your second ID. But also, you just moved to Canada. Like, that's a whole reason to exchange your old driver's license and to get a new one with a better picture. You know, girls know the struggle when you get your like passport pictures taken and you like, when do I get like a new one? I don't like the picture. And here are 5 things that you need to know before driving in Canada. First of all the fines you get, they affect your insurance cost. So if you're thinking, oh, you know, I get like a parking ticket, who cares? Oh, I got like an accident, who cares? Your insurance does. So when the following year you go to get your insurance renewed, the prices will go up. Also, fines give you points. 15 points equals to goodbye license, see you later. It depends again on the thing you've committed basically, and first they'll take your license for like X amount of time, then it's gonna be like a double, and the last step is they just take your license and say you don't drive anymore in this country. If you don't have a license yet, my piece of advice would be study in spring or summer, because the last thing you want to do is driving in the snow on the ice. I mean, it's gonna be terrible, trust me. I passed my driving exam in winter and it was okay, but not everybody is like that. So try picking a season when it's dry outside, when it's super nice to drive your car, so you won't need to, you know, retake exams in case you fail. My favorite part about owning a driver's license in Quebec is that you have to pay every single year for having your license. I know it's not the case for every province, but Quebec, merci beaucoup, je t'aime. I pay $100 every single year. For my birthday, instead of a birthday card, I get a letter saying, Miss Yulia, please pay $100. And I only have like a car license. I don't have any like trucks or bikes or whatsoever. My husband pays up to, I don't know, $200 maybe even more for his license, just to have this car, just to be able to drive. Which is crazy, because in Russia you don't pay, in Portugal you don't pay, in Ontario you don't pay, in Quebec you pay. If you're not a confident driver, practice till you are. Ask your friends, ask your families, get an instructor and just practice. I know it takes time to become a confident driver. My friend, I remember when she started driving, she would take all the tiny streets. I was like, but there's a highway. She's like, I'm too scared. But then she practiced and practiced and practiced. Next time, like I come to Ottawa, she's like driving on a highway like a pro. And I'm like, what happened to you? She's like, well, I drove the tiny streets and now I drive on the highway. I feel very confident. Amazing. So practice makes perfect. We all know that. My last tip would be install Waze. I still have friends who use Google Maps, Apple Maps for some reason. Install Waze. Waze will show you all the hidden cameras, all the construction, all the dead animals, all the police undercover, whatsoever. So it will be easier for you to navigate like the traffic, the road, stuff like that. I don't know why I still have to talk about Waze, but people still use Google Maps for navigation, which is not the best choice, I would say. If you are driving, tell me which app are you using. Maybe there is something even cooler than Waze. And yeah, and I think this is it for today. If you guys have any question, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll try to find an answer for you, and I'll see you next week. Bye!